My name is Ahmed Awil. I'm currently a student at SOAS University in London, where I live with my mum and my siblings. This is a book written by my dad, Ahmed Awil Dirir. It's called Cancer quusan, which is Somali for cancer, don't despair. And he wrote it regarding cancer because he was diagnosed with cancer in 2013, at the end of 2013. And he began writing this book around 2014. And it took him over 4 years to complete. The book is about cancer. And the beauty of this book is it's not just about his experience. It's a book giving advice. It's a book sharing his experience. It's a book trying to guide people through cancer in a way that he was guided through an English book. And so the book is written in Somali. The target audience of this book currently are Somali people so that they can be in a better position than he was when he was first diagnosed. So my dad was diagnosed with cancer at the end of 2013, and I was 13 years old when I found out that my dad was diagnosed with cancer. At the time, I didn't really know too much about it, and my dad was always very positive, strong. So cancer as an illness is an illness that it takes a lot from a person. To put it plainly, cancer is an illness whereby it slowly deteriorates your body. And to combat it, you have to use medications that also deteriorate your body. And so for example, chemotherapy is a form of therapy, but in itself, it destroys your body. And so what happens with a cancer patient is it's not only the cancer that deteriorates your body slowly, but also your treatment, although the treatment is a means to a positive end. And so over the years, my dad did get weaker. He relapsed. He had cancer in a total of 5 times. He relapsed 4 more times after he was first diagnosed. And so he did get sicker and sicker and weaker and weaker. And he lost something each time. In the beginning, his hearing got weaker. There was a point where he couldn't speak because he had surgery in the neck when the tumor came up the neck. And so over time, slowly by slowly, he did get sicker and weaker because of the cancer combined with the means of combating the cancer, the radiation, the surgery, the chemotherapy. And so yeah, he did get weaker over time. So, like I said, the beauty of this book is that it's not just a personal autobiography. In the book, my dad uses his experiences to educate others, and so he speaks about prevention, cancer, we don't exactly know what causes it, but what is the research behind what could cause cancer, how you can prevent it. He also talks about his lifestyle changes, how he changed his food and how people can change their foods in order to benefit themselves. He talks about emotional well-being. He talks about the forms of medication. And so in this book, he uses his experience to create a comprehensive guide to combating or coping with cancer. And the target audience, as I said, are the Somali people because it is a big gap in our knowledge. Part of the reason why my dad wrote this book, or perhaps a huge reason why my dad wrote this book, is because, like we found with ourselves and our situation, there is a huge gap in knowledge between the Somali community and cancer and illnesses. And so what we found was we didn't know much about cancer. The story is that one of my dad's colleagues, when he was first diagnosed in 2013, she asked him, she said, "Do you know anyone with cancer?" And his answer was no. And so she gave our family a book, it's written in English, regarding cancer. And that was a huge guide and help to him and to us in terms of understanding and for our whole family. And so another part of it is within the Somali community, we don't speak too much about illnesses and diseases like cancer. Perhaps it could be linked to weakness and the idea of weakness. And so my dad stepped forward. It was difficult if I imagine the situations in which he wrote the book. Sometimes he was very, very sick. Sometimes he could barely walk. and yet he was still writing. And so he put his personal business, which in personal life and his personal struggles in this book, in order to be a guide for others who might come behind him, people who are sick with cancer and diagnosed, who don't know anything about cancer like we were in the beginning, or people who have partners and husbands and wives who are diagnosed, people with parents that are diagnosed, friends. And so this is just a step forward in the Somali community in raising awareness about cancer. I also want to speak to people like myself who aren't sick with cancer but have a loved one who is diagnosed with cancer. It's important for us to educate ourselves to know more about the struggle that they're going through. As a community, as a Somali community, we need to educate ourselves more about cancer so that we can support our loved ones who are diagnosed with it.